fine.
That's all right. Chris, you a chud?
Oh, he definitely is. He couldn't pass a workout.
Oh my God. So what was that?
I was talking to the town, my friend. Well,
He beats me up. Okay.
Mount Chudmore. You might have to go up a rung on the Mount
what do you
Chudmore
want me to
now.
do? You want me to try to take this guy? Are you insane? All right. Well, after this break, we're gonna fight for something.
Stupid thing
All right,
off
bye.
me.
Welcome back to the DK experience. Go back to your job.
Every NFL fan has played for the last 15 games. Maybe
Writing a letter to the NFL fans? Get out of here with that. Let me finish.
No,
Let me finish.
stop.
Johnny Manziel, that guy, he's a loser.
No, that's
Watch the DK experience.
Is there anything interesting happening in here? Joe, is there anything interesting happening in here?
Yes, there is some interesting stuff tonight. We're doing our weather outside.
Oh, okay.
Our
I don't
quick
care.
weather.
Never mind.
That's the outside you can offer.
Welcome back to Entertainment Breach, where luck is on your side. I forget who was who, but it's heads.
It's on Chris's side. Chris, would you like to go first with?
Well, what are we doing again?
You are introducing this. What's hostagee? What's the hostager? I don't know. He's holding us hostage, but you get to pitch a sport to him.
Okay.
Better make
Cool.
it good.
So,
Loser gets beat up again.
all right. Well, the sport that I got for you, we all love football, right?
My favorite.
Football, great. But what's the one thing that's missing from football? It's got everything that's really great, but there's one specific thing. Do you want to take a guess?
It's your pitch.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you. Fighting. They don't allow the players to actually just rip each other's helmets off and start fighting. Or if they do, or when they do end up doing that, they get fines, they get all that stuff. Who cares about that?
Isn't that just rugby?
Let them fight. No, it's not just rugby.
He just made football Canadian, but whatever. Okay.
So it's going to be football, but fighting.
Okay. What's the fighting for? Like, is there like an end to it, or like?
Just motivate the team.
Health insurance claim for.
What is there health insurance for? I didn't
Right.
sign this.
All right, give me a break. I was on the ground for like 5 minutes, like knocked
So
out.
like how what ends the fight? Like, you know, like the sport hockey, which is clearly what you're ripping off.
Where
they hit the ground, that's it. Like what's the?
Were you knocked on the ground? Did like your creativity just leak everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much.
Darn.
Darn, yeah. Yeah, it's because someone couldn't help me.
Hi Ed.
Little end heads.
Bye Ed.
All right.
But
so
yes, yeah. So that's
just football, but with boxing gloves.
Okay.
Football,
next.
boxing gloves.
Let's
I've
move
heard of-
on to my sport. Come on. Really? You could do better than this, Mike. This is why I don't pay you. So, shopping carts. We love them. You always shop with them. Yeah, shut up, Mike. Shut up, Mike. So, what's a popular online video game that uses cars and also is combined with sports? Rocket League. So you motorize your shopping carts, kind of like that, but you got two people motorize the driver and then
It
the
looks like
steerer.
Bob.
And then it does kind of look like Bob. Bob, I didn't know you were a big fan of motorized shopping carts and you were in the league. But it's like Rocket League, but with motorized shopping carts. Isn't that awesome?
Better than hockey, football.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Austin as my
Can I
winner.
still be on? Can I have a sport?
You have a sport?
I have a sport.
Hey, Luke Baker.
I have a sport.
What's your sport? What's your sport?
I don't know if I can sit down here.
I got you.
Luke Baker. Luke Baker.
I got you. Chris,
He's getting angry, Luke Baker.
Chris,
He's
I
getting
need to get
angry.
up. Chris, I need to stand.
Luke Baker, he's getting angry. Run! Run, Luke Baker, run! Run!
I'm running out of here.
Oh! Oh! Who are these people on the bottom of my screen? Take it out! Take it out!
You
No!
mess with Connor Gatto, you get the puck.
Well, that was another fun-filled episode of Entertainment Breach, where two people got beat up.
I see that.
This man is a menace, and he should be behind bars. Thank you, and good night.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever 1 hour Stick to Sports mock draft special. With the draft right around the corner, we've got a lot of special guests with us in the studio today to discuss the top prospects of 2026. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. And when we come back from this logo, we will have our boy right here, Sammy, kicking it off. The Las Vegas Raiders won the draft sweepstakes this year, securing the #1 overall pick with solely one guy in mind. So who better to kick off this mock draft special than our very own diehard Raiders fan, Sammy? Floor is yours.
Well, obviously, guys, very coveted quarterback class. There's one good quarterback in the first round, and that's Fernando Mendoza. I love Mendoza. I've been following him for such a long time. Heisman winning, championship winning quarterback, exactly what the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that has notoriously not won, needs. He is a prototypical style quarterback, 6'5" and 236 pounds. This guy is amazing, can see the field at all times. This guy is the Raiders guy. He has a winning mentality and will lead them to victory. That I can promise you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Sammy. You guys got good things coming with Mendoza. But moving on to pick number 2, we're going to talk about my New York Jets. And the Jets are in a very weird spot. They kind of have a coin flip right now on who they're taking as the draft gets closer. But first, I'm going to talk to you about number 2 projected pick, Arvell Reese, linebacker out of Ohio State. Probably the most versatile weapon player. He's a Mike. He's a hybrid will. Can be a pure edge rusher, 6'4", 241 pounds. He is an absolute beast. Amazing closing speed. The Jets are going to look to him as just having the most versatile weapon they can have, because at this point they need to take best player available. And they're debating between 2 people right now. And the second person that they're debating between is David Bailey, edge rusher out of Texas Tech. Now, David Bailey led all of college football last year with 14.5 sacks, #1 sack leader in the league. He was amazing. He's a pure edge rushing guy. However, he has very similar specs and height and weight similar to Arvell Reese, but he is not as much as a 3-down guy as, somebody like Reese could be. David Bailey, smaller frame, can get to the QB, but the Jets are going to have to decide whether or not they want best player available or pure sack rusher. So we mentioned moving on, we mentioned how we have a lot of special guests and new faces joining us for this special. And we have none other than himself, Logan Russo. I cannot wait to hear what you got to say about this man right here, Jeremiah Love.
Yeah,
so let me hear it.
I can't wait to talk about Jeremiah Love. I'm a Q's fan, so obviously a little bit of a sour note for me to talk about this guy, but man, is he great. Notre Dame really got a good one with him. No postseason experience, so you're kind of missing out on a few games that you could have seen some more potential from him, but otherwise put up great stats. Was obviously a finalist for the Heisman this year, as well as the Walter Camp Award and the Maxwell Awards. He put up 199 carries with 1,300 yards and 27 receptions. So this is a guy that's going to get you on both sides of that offense. Otherwise, he's been killing it recently, and the Titans have get a player that I haven't seen a caliber of him that could be a Titans running back. Obviously, since Derrick Henry, and I think the Titans want to get back to that standpoint. So they've got a really, really good guy in store with Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, absolutely. And Logan, shortly, congratulations on news director.
Thank you.
Being recently elected. We know you're going to do great things. Thank you
God
for
bless.
your help, gentlemen. We're going to go to our first break, and when we come back, a new set of faces will be sitting at the desk with me to break down picks 5 through 8. You're watching the Stick to Sports Draft Special here on WTOP-10. And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stick to Sports Draft Special. The carousel continues. I got a whole new brand of new faces with me here to talk about some high prospects. So let's kick it off with the Giants fan himself. You know him. You love him on this show, hopefully. Connor Sangus. My brother, who are the Giants taking with that 5th overall pick?
Caleb Downs, my friend, is who they are going to take with the 5th overall pick. Now, some scouts have kind of hated on this guy for being quote-unquote too small at just 6'1", 205. That is not the case, all right? He more than has enough physical skills to make it in the NFL. Downs as a junior started all 3 years of his collegiate career, both at Bama and Ohio State. He brings tremendous versatility to any team that's going to draft him because he's played in 3 different defensive schemes. And it's because of these schemes that his instincts are honestly off the charts. He reminds me of a prime Luke Kuechly with his pre-snap reads. He has a sixth sense when it comes to ball hawking, even though he's only at 6 INTs because guys just didn't want to throw to him. And as we all know, the Giants recently hired John Harbaugh. He values the safety position. He drafted Kyle Hamilton as high as 14 in 2022. I think Downs is going to mirror an Eric Berry or an Earl Thomas, a hard-hitting run stopper as a safety, and I think he's got future Hall of Famer written all over him.
I love to hear takes like that, Connor. We love to see that. No, absolutely. Giant ball knowledge on this guy, like always. Introducing another guest, we have Braden Peters to the show. Welcome, Braden.
Thank you.
You are going to bring, I got to say, show off the guns a little bit. Yeah, there you go. You're looking jacked. And that's because you're giving us the scoop on our first one of the big boys up front in this draft. So tell me a little bit about Monroe Freeland.
Yes, I got the Browns picking Monroe Freeland. They get out of him a very solid offensive tackle overall. A guy that has a great agility, has got good athleticism, in my personal opinion. And the only issue is that every time he goes out to try and at least punch out, he does, unfortunately, kind of just bend it. He doesn't really use his feet, which definitely is a little bit of a concern. So buyers beware in that situation. But, I mean, only 1 sack allowed last year with Georgia, and also 5 pressures allowed. I mean, you're getting a very solid offensive tackle who's very agile. A lot more teams are looking for that out of offensive linemen this year. So I think he is exactly what the Browns need to protect to the blind side of Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, no, great analysis, Braden. It will be interesting to see who they go. They can go a lot of different directions. They can go Tate, but I agree with you. I think the best commodity that you need for a young QB like Shedeur is protecting that blind side. So great analysis there. Thank you, as always. We have Hockey Talk co-host joining us today, Evan Shomes. Mr. Evan Shomes is with us to talk about another standout Ohio State linebacker. Evan, I know your specialty is on the ice, but what about that gridiron knowledge? What do you got there on Sonny Styles?
So not only does Sonny Styles maybe have the coolest name in this draft class, but the guy's an absolute dog. Styles' play relies on his top-notch field awareness and ability to read plays at the snap, which allow him to shut down significant yards on catch. On top of that, this guy is just a freak of nature. Coming in at 6'5" and 244 pounds, Styles set the all-time linebacker record for the highest vertical jump at 43.6 inches and tied the top time in the 40-yard dash, clocking in at 4.46 seconds. So Styles ranked #1 in production and athleticism this year, and this is someone who you can 100% see with the green dot first day in the NFL.
Yeah, no, it's so hard to come by seeing a guy like that shoot out of a cannon. He's got amazing closing speed. Sonny Styles is an absolute freak of nature. I'm very interested to see because he was originally looking at being drafted around that like 16th position, and then the combine rolls around, and now people are saying he can be a top 5 pick. Yeah. So he can go anywhere. He can fit in so many schemes. It will be very interesting. Thank you, Evan, so much for that analysis. That brings us to our next guest, Mr. Blake Blodgett, coming to the studio today to analyze some standout corners in this upcoming draft. Blake, what can you tell me about a particular Tiger?
Well, Evan said that Sonny Styles has the best name in the draft. I would actually disagree. I think Mansour Delane here has one of the best names. You are getting prototypical size with the cornerback position here. He's 6 foot tall. He's a very aggressive tackler. He's aggressive at the catch point. He's also very good at tracking the quarterback's eyes. He knows what the quarterback is doing at all times. The only issue is he does have too aggressive hands sometimes, so that could lead to penalties in the NFL.
Okay.
I think at the high end here, you're getting a Quinyon Mitchell or Trent McDuffie type, very much a lockdown corner. At the low end, you're getting more of a Carlton Davis, more of a solid starter, but not a guy you want on the number 1 receivers. But I think he is by far the best corner in this draft. I would say Jermon McCoy, but he was dealing with injuries last year. I think that the Saints would get an absolute steal here. He's an absolute dog. I love this guy.
A nice little tease to McCoy. That will bring us to our next break, and we will talk about more prospects when we are back here on WTOP-10. And we are right back. Welcome back to our Stick to Sports draft special. We're going to stay on the defensive side of the ball here, and I know Blake teased it a little bit with that last analysis, but I'm going to talk to you about an old Rocky Top guy. Can't move my mic, sorry. Rocky Top, Tennessee. We're going to talk about Jermon McCoy, second projected corner being taken out of this draft. McCoy's described as a toolsy outside corner with cornerback 1 flashes, and he's a former triple and long jumper with explosive lowers who posted up 16 passes defense, including 6 interceptions from 2023 to 2024. Unfortunately, he missed the 2025 season with an ACL tear, and that's kind of hurt his draft stock coming into this draft. But however, teams are still high on him because he's he's confident-footed, he can match and release and cover when he's beaten, he's got great makeup speed. We'll see how that ACL catches up to him, and if that goes away or if it's worse, who knows. But he is a guy who's known as engulfing wideouts at catch point. He's got fast finishes, and outside of the ACL tear, his biggest weakness is he just struggles to stay in the phase against speedy route benders. His change of direction we could see less optimal change of direction for McCoy because of that injury. But I'm very excited to see where he goes. I think he can end up going to the Jets if he falls at 16, but I think a lot of cornerback is a huge position that teams need to improve on, especially with the direction the league is in right now. So, Jermon McCoy, see where he goes. You always got a Rocky Top fan right here. But moving on to the second offensive tackle that's coming off of the board, Blake, what can you tell us about Francis Mauigoa?
Now, what I can tell you about Francis Mauigoa is he's an absolute mauler in the run game. You are getting a guy who is going to pancake opposing D linemen and edges, rushers, and linebackers. He is surprisingly good at moving for his size. He is 6'6", 330 pounds. He's a big guy. You are getting a day 1 starter at right tackle here. He's also very good at pulling and creating running lanes for his running backs. He's very good hand placement. He's patient with his hands. He doesn't jut out very quickly and get off balance. Sometimes, though, in pass pro, he's a little slow-footed. You sometimes see that the foot stop moving, which can cause issues in pass pro. But I think high end here, you're getting a Penei Sewell, you're getting a lockdown right tackle. I think that's the high end. And then even the low end, you're getting a Jermaine Illuminor. I know as a Giants fan, he's just a solid, dependable right tackle. But I think you are getting an absolute beast. I personally think he's the best tackle in this draft, but Monroe Freeling is also very good.
High praise coming there from Blake. I mean, boys, this is such a loaded position player draft. And we've talked about, the one QB going off the board first. We've talked about offensive linemen. We've talked about defensive players. But there's a position that we've been leaving out. So, Logan, our first wide receiver coming off the board, who better to break down than you? What do you got on Carnell Tate?
Well, with the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins will select, like you said, Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State, one of many Buckeyes prospects in this draft, and he's a very experienced one at that. Very efficient and polished, put up 51 receptions, 875 yards, and 9 touchdowns, 17.2 yards per catch last season, measured out about top 35 in last year. 6'2" again, really jumps out though. He's very smooth and controlled. Also a very advanced route artist. He's very good technically. He's very fast off the release. He understands timing, spacing, how to get open, and GMs, front offices will be very happy with this pick because his specialty lies against zone coverage, and he does have strong and efficient hands, one of his biggest strong suits. Now, obviously, every prospect has flaws, Alex, and one of his is the fact that he's not a true deep threat. He does not have elite top-end speed, not the type of guy to make a play, say, take a screen for 80 yards, but still, he will consistently move the chains for you on sort of those checkdowns, those bubble screens. He will just move the chains. He's very elusive off the release, like I said. He projects as a high-level number 2 receiver, and I believe he fits the prototype of the Kansas City Chiefs offense. He fit like a glove in there, not just the Chiefs, also the Rams. And I'd say ceiling-wise, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or at least at that, a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver, not overly flashy, sure to be dependable though. At the end of the day, like I said, picking Carnell Tate will have your front office happy.
I really like that, Logan. I mean, those Ohio State receivers,
Yeah.
I mean, you go down the list.
They're surefire.
JSN, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, they're all studs. So we'll see if Carnell Tate fits that script. But you're not going anywhere because you're still on the hook. You're breaking down Miami's standout edge rusher, Ruben Bain Jr. What do you got on him?
Yes, sir. With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys will select Ruben Bain Jr., edge out of Miami. Bain, like Carnell Tate, spent 3 years at his respective college of the Miami Hurricanes. And in those 3 years, he was nothing short of a star. I watched him when he played my Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and he was very physical and disruptive against them. Not just that game, but also the entire season throughout that after it. And what's most impressive is he will make an immediate impact for any NFL team. 6'3", 275 pounds, plays with a lot of power, plays with a lot of maturity, very disciplined, which I will get into later, but that's just one of his top traits. He has a very strong build, like I said, 6'3", 275, good bull rush. He can also collapse the pocket. An offensive lineman with his physical build, they have a tough time trying to get around him. He can very much wreck a play, very fast. Offensive line will need to be in all 10 toes against him. He is both good on the pass rush and as a run defender. Does a great job setting the edge. He does not lose his feet. He's very good at holding his ground. Like I said, very disciplined. But with Tate, he also has some flaws. He does have a lack of finesse and craft. When you have so much power and leverage, like I said, that does come with maybe a lack of craft or finesse in your game. But like I said, he's very mature for 3 years at Miami. So if he's able to develop more pass rush moves and able to improve his ability to bend around the edge, that's where you could see his ceiling take off. Fits-wise, Steelers or Ravens, he does very much seem like a Raven to me, very similar to Cameron Jordan. So overall, he's a very powerful and high-effort player who can impact the game in a lot of ways.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes. But that brings us to another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you on the other side right back here on WTOP-10. Welcome back to the Stick to Sports Draft Special. Joining us now to break down Makai Lemon is the joyous Jason Root. Jason, what are your thoughts on Makai Lemon? And you get in here.
One thing I can definitely tell you, Alex, about Makai Lemon is there is absolutely nothing sweet about this receiver, only straight sour and bitter taste for anybody that is facing him on defense. I mean, as a wide receiver coming out of USC, 5'11", 192, he is a very fast-paced route runner, and he is very good at distancing himself from the defenders, and just the way that he is able to move and make room out of some of these routes is just very, very crucial. Watch this. He's able to escape a play, juke out another player, and make it all the way for the touchdown. And for him to go at number 13 to the Los Angeles Rams, who is coming off of a great season, having MVP quarterback Matthew Stafford, along with an excelling wide receiver room of the prime wide receiver Puka Nacua, and of course people like Devontae Adams, I think Lemon is a absolute great choice to be chosen for the Los Angeles Rams, and adds more depth to the receiving group.
Yeah, no, and with Puka dealing with some personal, going to rehab for a lot of personal issues right now, having somebody in that archetype to fill that role, if he misses some time, we shall see how that pans out for him. I've heard a lot of people comparing Makai Lemon to Amon-Ra. How do you feel about that?
I think that comparing him to somebody like Amon-Ra is, quite similar. Again, people, debating whether or not to take Lemon over Tyson is a main concern. Of course, in this last season, 79 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. They did very, very well for USC. But, I could definitely see some comparisons here or there, but, it's all about, breakout talents in their first season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Jason. But next up, we're welcoming in, I yelled at him earlier because he was a little late, but it's fine, our undisputed MVP, the glue guy graphics man himself, Eric Palmieri.
Yes,
How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to be covering the Ravens pick. I had to ChatGPT his name before. Ioine, and then I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. It was a little difficult, but he is a guard coming out of Penn State. He is an absolute dog. He is an absolute dog.
We got a lot of people here.
He is a guy that has faced hundreds and hundreds of snap counts and has not allowed a single sack this year. Just been an absolute stud in the college scene, and that is just something that the Ravens need. Lamar Jackson has been running for his life the last few years, had guys coming in and out like Josh Simpson, like Morgan Moses. Alex, I know you know a little bit about them because you take our scraps. They're not too good, are they?
No.
And then they just lost Tyler Lindenbaum. He just paid he's got paid $20 million a year to the Raiders. So the Ravens are going to be looking to get a cornerstone in for that front five for the Ravens, and I think Ioine is their guy. I'm very excited.
Well, we gave you back John Simpson, so you can be happy
Oh my God, I'm so happy. 10 holding penalties coming inbound.
Yeah,
great.
Fair enough. Do you think he'll look good in those new Ravens jerseys?
Oh my God, they're amazing. Have you seen the helmets?
I'm
a broke college student, but
I was gonna say, you
I might have
to
to use a little bit of a paycheck. It's okay though.
That's fine. Yeah. Anything to support. Those jerseys are magnificent. But please join me in welcoming the outstanding Owen Miles to the show, repping the Carolina Panthers. Owen, who do you think your team has taken off the board here?
Well, I'm here to talk about a guy that unfortunately is mocked to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. It is Kenyon Sadiq, by far the best tight end prospect in this class. I mean, if you look at that hurdle against Montana State right there, absolute freak right there. He's very fast. He's the fastest in combine history for a tight end. He's fantastic at route running. He can blow through any safety pretty much, any middle linebacker he's really good at doing. He shows really good acceleration after the catch, and he can come down with pretty much any catch, so you don't have to worry about him possibly fumbling the ball in the end zone. So, yeah, there are some things that teams might want to look at. He does need some work on blocking, I would say. Especially when he's supposed to be the lead blocker for a back or something, which in this case would be Kenneth Gainwell. But yeah, he needs a little bit of work on that. One thing I also noticed is he dives a lot, which is pretty good on paper, but like if you look at it, he could be a higher risk for injury, and that is not something you want, especially in today's NFL. I would say for a comp, he was very hard to comp. I would say, though, George Kittle for that acceleration. For a low comp, I would say probably like an Irv Smith Jr., another guy that was really good in college and came up to not be as great in the NFL. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. His connection was amazing with Dante Moore, especially going into the playoffs. Big physical guys, big diving. Like, he's terrifying.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute freak for anybody who ends up getting Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. But all right, lastly, for this segment, we have Aaron McCarthy. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing good, Alex. How are you?
I'm great. What can you tell me about who wrote that? Who wrote that in the script? I know it was you, Connor. All right, this is going to kill my soul to say. Aaron, what can you tell me about the frame-mogging wide receiver out of ASU?
Well, I can tell
Connor, I'm docking your pay.
I can tell you that the 16th pick the Jets are going to take, you got Jordan Tyson here, wide receiver out of Arizona State. Tyson is versatile. He is a polished route runner. He tracks the ball impressively. He can get separation. He can go inside, outside. He can be an X. He can be a Y. He can be a Z. I mean, guy has been all across the field. Stands at 6'2", 203 pounds. He's sort of a skinnier wide receiver, but hey, we've seen it work out. We know the Terry McLaurins, the Stephon Diggs, the Amari Coopers of the world. His breakout season came in 2024. He racked up 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns before suffering a broken collarbone that kept him both out of the Big 12 championship and the college football playoff. Go to 2025, he's got 711 yards, 8 touchdowns, but once again, it misses 4 games. This time it's hamstring injuries. Like I said, I really think Tyson can comp to a guy like Terry McLaurin. I mean, it's just the point of catch adjustments that he makes. He's not always the fastest guy, not always the strongest guy, not the highest jumper, but his hands and the way that he just glides across the field, it's wondrous. But of course, I got to talk about injuries. 2022, he tears his ACL, PCL, MCL. 2024, broken collarbone. 2025, hamstring injuries. I wish nothing but the best for the kid, but if I'm the Jets, I'm a little concerned about those injuries.
Yeah, and the last thing we want to do is put this guy on MetLife turf.
Listen, as a Bills fan, I've dealt with Keon Coleman enough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're right. Now, we talked about so many sure-handed receivers. We talk about Tate, Lemon, and Tyson. None of them are like standout, athletic, like crazy guys, but they're all sure-handed. They're all plug-and-play guys, and they're all QB elevators. So I'm very excited to see how that carousel turns out.
Dude, those Tyson catches, I was looking through some of the highlights last night while making the graphics. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's one of the more sure-handed receivers since OBJ in New York.
I like that. Terry McLaurin seems like a good comp.
And I definitely agree with a lot of it because injuries are very key, especially when they are a brand new player starting out in their career in the NFL. So if there is already rookie history of injuries while dealing with it in college, it is very, very crucial on whether or not you draft them, especially with your first round pick.
Oh, absolutely.
Great analysis, boys. We're going to take it to another quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on WTOP-10. And bringing back our most jacked analyst to talk more about the big boys up front in our mock draft special. Braden, what do you have on Spencer Fano out of Utah?
I think, honestly, probably one of the most underrated offensive tackle prospects. Honestly, I think maybe the second best overall. I mean, this guy was a freshman All-American, second team Associated Press All-American in 2024. First, any All-American award he pretty much has won. He is definitely, size-wise, maybe it's a little bit of a concern when looking at the tackle position, but again, he does really good against speed rushers. He's just able to mirror their moves very well. Definitely is able to use his size to his advantage. The only issue I really do see with him sometimes is that he does kind of like lean to the chest. He does, his shoulders do get up a little bit high pad level-wise, so that can be a little bit of a disadvantage of him of getting just completely bull rushed, but the Lions definitely need an offensive tackle like him. I mean, outside Penei Sewell, they don't really have a solid offensive tackle outside of him. So I think getting him will help at least protect Goff more. It definitely also elevate the run game more with now Jahmyr Gibbs being the primary back. I mean, I think he's definitely got high potential. I mean, he's projected to be like, I would say a Brian O'Neill kind of player. I mean, he's been a great tackle for the Vikings, great for the Colts. I think he's going to be a really solid player overall.
Future veteran guy you see in Fano?
Oh, 100%. I think he definitely could be a long-term player for the Lions overall. He just, as long as he can just work on making sure he gets his pad level a bit lower on his blocks, I think he'll be good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely, Brandon. Thank you for the analysis. We're going to transition over to the defensive side of the ball and bring in the most demure guy here. Dylan Gilmore.
Is that a diss?
I don't know. that made me feel weird saying
whatever,
that.
man.
We got a stud, Dylan Gilmore, here to talk about the second safety coming off the board. What can you tell me?
Yeah, so Dylan Tanneman, he is, in any other draft class, he would be the best safety in the board. One of the most athletic guys you'll know, 4.35 speed, 41-inch vertical. He very athletic, very smart, very versatile, can play that high safety, but also roll down and be a sort of robber role. Great thing that the Vikings need here. He's kind of got issues with his physicality, though. He plays really hard, but he's small, and against some guys in the NFL, especially blockers, it's going to be a big issue. But yeah, Dylan Tanneman, great athletic stuff. The thing I'd like to highlight, though, is his IQ. He has been called one of the quickest readers of the field in this draft. Like I said, any other draft, he's the top safety on the board. It's just, you got Caleb Downs in this draft, so it's a little hard, but he's going to be good. Vikings really need him, coming off a very disappointing season following what was an unexpected season a couple years ago. They're going to need that defense, and what they need is a day one starter, and Dylan Tanneman is a day one starter who can come in and fill any role you need on that in that secondary. It's just the only thing. He's a little less physical. You'll see him in there. He'll run hard and go and hit a guy, but those are college dudes. This is the NFL.
Pairing him up with Isaiah Rodgers, especially day one, gives you a lot of speed and a lot of combo power in that secondary. Thank you, Dylan. But back to Owen. You're back for this segment. Panthers back up on the board. What can you tell us about this high wide receiver prospect?
Well, I will say that this man's name is KC Concepcion, and he is glorious. He's a 5'11", 196 pounds. He's from Rochester, my hometown, so yeah, that is always a plus for me. He's a great deep threat. A lot of these, he is getting deep threats. He's really hard to wrestle down once he has the ball. Like in one of these clips, he has like two guys against him, like trying to get him down, and he still gets into the end zone. Fantastic route runner. Basically, you can put him on any route you want, and he's going to get it somehow. As you can see here, he's also a kick and punt returner, and pretty great at that. You can see against LSU here. The only thing that I will say is a little con about him is that he doesn't have a lot of variety in his speed on his routes. So I will say that he should probably work on that when going up against NFL level DBs, against college level DBs, especially in the SEC. And yeah, I would say for my comp, Emmanuel Sanders. I think he really gives off Emmanuel Sanders vibes to me, but he could as well be a good Curtis Samuel, which I know our Panthers are very familiar with Curtis Samuel, so I would not be complaining about that.
Oh, absolutely. I also saw that he signed a letter to future NFL teams saying that I am the best wide receiver in this draft. You will draft me, or if you draft me, that's what you're getting out of me. You got to love the confidence from the young man, even if that doesn't pan out.
Absolutely.
But bringing back, flex for me.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Bringing back the swole Braden Peters. You just have a knack for describing these big boys up front. So talk to me about Alabama's top prospect, Caden Proctor.
if there is any guy in this entire draft class that is defined as a giant, it's Caden Proctor. 6'7", 352 pounds is massive for an offensive tackle. I mean, he's just bullying anyone within his weight. Obviously, I mean, his size is what I think a lot of teams are going to be salivating for. He is basically also really good on even when running it, being able to go a lot on like a lot of pull plays, pretty much being able to help set up the run. He has got good athleticism for his size overall. He is just, the physicalities are all there. The only issue is that he can struggle, in short area movement with getting cross-faced by a lot of edge rushers. And I feel like also he does struggle to mirror inside moves and counters, so it's easier to beat him on the inside. Outside, from what I've seen, it's fine. He's able to hold his ground, but inside moves, the edge rushers try and go in. That's where he starts to kind of get a little leaky, but I think he's definitely a much-needed move for the Cowboys. Help at least a quarterback in Dak Prescott that cannot just stay healthy for his own life. I think it's definitely a move to at least pair him up with, at least to help also kind of get someone in. They lost Tyron Smith years ago.
Yeah.
That O-line has not been the same since, so definitely adding some more talent to the O-line, help at least protect the, Prescott, get the running game going in some way. I think that's definitely going to be needed for them going forward.
Do you have a pro comp for him? Because when you mentioned Tyron Smith, that was the first person that popped into my mind. That's a beast of a human being.
That's what I think of too. Smith was a huge offensive tackle that really used his size to his advantage. There's a reason why he's one of the best to ever play.
Yeah.
So I definitely could see him being the next pretty much Tyron Smith, but Tyron Smith 2.0.
Yeah, no, I like that. We're going to go to another quick break here. Thank you, gentlemen, for your analysis. But don't go anywhere. We're coming right back here for the Stick to Sports mock draft special here on WTOP-10. And we are back into our mock draft special. We're halfway, just over halfway here, boys. We got a new set of faces with some familiar, some new, some very sunburned. We're kind of rocking the same. We're rocking the same kind of complexion here, this Red Skull look. But for our first pick of this segment, we're going to talk about 21st overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have our second quarterback coming off the board, and we're welcoming back the familiar face, Blake. Take it away, good sir.
Now, Dan Orlovsky has tried to say the gap between Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza is not that big. I could personally disagree, but Ty Simpson, you are still getting a great NFL quarterback. He moves through his progressions very quickly. I've seen clips where he goes through 5 different progressions within about 2 seconds. That you can't discount that. He is very good at escaping the pocket when he needs to. He's also got great repeatable throwing mechanics. He's not gonna throw a ton of picks. He's very good with that. Issues though, you only have 1 year of film on him. He was only a 1-year starter. He's fairly short at 6'1". You wonder, can he translate to the NFL with that? His arm talent overall, as far as deep passes, is fairly average. You're not going to see, he's not a Anthony Richardson lobbing a 70-yard deep bomb, even though Anthony Richardson's not very good. And he sometimes gets jittery feet. He moves out of the pocket too quickly. That's a habit you want to see reversed. And when he's under duress, he also makes inconsistent throws. Now, pro comps, I think at the high end, you're getting a Brock Purdy type, a very good game manager. He's not a big game changer. He's not going to be a Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes type, but you're getting a good game manager here. Low end, you're getting a Mac Jones. I think there's a lot of similarities there. Unfortunately,
you think low end, he's going to be Mac Jones?
Yeah, low end.
Okay.
If he's not developed well, a lot of these 1-year starters, they don't end up well in the NFL. I do think the Steelers is a good situation. Mike McCarthy is a very good quarterback developer, but it depends, You never know with these types of guys. Quarterback is just so hard to translate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Blake. It's really hard to gauge a guy like Ty Simpson because he kind of just looks He looks above average at some moments and then mid.
Absolutely, and then you have that really good first half of the year, pretty poor second half of the year as well.
Yeah.
That kind of brings him down.
We'll see how he translates and where he lands. Our first D tackle is taken with this next pick. My friend and #1 teleprompter scholar, Sage Mooney. How we doing? Is going to tell you why this guy is a game changer. So take it away, Sage.
Yeah, let me talk to you about Peter Woods. Peter Woods out of Clemson is a very interesting prospect. In 2024, he posted 26 tackles and 3 sacks. He had a very high pressure rate. The unfortunate thing is last year, definitely a fall off. His pressure rate fell off. But Clemson was a disaster last year, so I don't completely blame him for that. He was a projected top 5, top 10 pick going into this year. And I think the main reason he'll fall is due to positional value. And like I said, Clemson struggles. But he's going to make a team very happy. Like I said, while his play fell off last year, the entire locker room was lost. He's had a rough offseason this year, measuring sub 300, and he cherry-picked his pro day. He's also a tad on the smaller side. But there's a lot of positives. He's very strong. He can slide all over the line. He does not take his eyes off the ball, and he does not get fooled by fakes often at all. He's super refined. He really uses the right moves in the right situations. He's also very young, and he has a really good feel for the game. The underrated aspect of his game that I really like, that teams are starting to value more in the NFL, is his offensive upside. I know that sounds weird. 8 carries for 15 yards and 2 touchdowns at Clemson. Teams like the Patriots and teams like the Ravens and the Titans, they're using defensive tackles on offense, among other teams. As a power back or a blocking defensive tackle, it just gives them a bruiser in the backfield. I would compare him to a guy like Jeffrey Simmons. Both ways, can play multiple positions on the D-line, and he could be a fullback. And this is a guy I love to the Cleveland Browns.
I like that. I like that. Pair him up with Myles Garrett. Thank you, Sage. Another red jersey defensive player is taken here. Linebacker C.J. Allen is a beast on the field. Luckily for us, we have a beast in the stew. Owen, talk to me about one of the pillars of Georgia's standout defense.
Well, one thing I love to say about C.J. Allen is that he is a very good template for a Georgia Bulldogs linebacker. He's a little bit on the shorter side. He's 6'0", but he is 230 pounds. So one thing that I really like about him is he has such a unique body control where he can finish a tackle more different than any other linebacker you see come out of college. And he doesn't rush through his scrape process here. So he's a pretty good jumper too. There was one here where he got a pretty high interception from against, I think it was LSU. But yeah, as you can see, he goes to the Eagles here. I could definitely see him going to the Eagles. One of my comps for him, I had him as my low comp, but I mean, it's Nakobe Dean. It's just not. It's too hard to not comp him to Nakobe Dean, in my opinion. They both went to the same college, and they both went to, or in this case, he would go to the Eagles. But my high comp, I have him as Roquan Smith.
Wow.
I think that he could be as good as Roquan Smith. He's one of those guys that could be he could get there, but he also could be one of those guys like Nakobe Dean who has to sit for a couple of years before he gets there. I personally think that the Eagles, I think that they could do a little better here at 23. I think they could trade down and still get Allen. I see him more going to a team like the Bills, possibly, or maybe the Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we know that the Eagles like their Bulldogs. The biggest wideout in the class is taken off the board here, and luckily, I have one of the biggest personalities in TOP to break him down. Nick, take it away.
I'm taking that as a compliment, by the way.
Yeah,
no, we're looking at Denzel Boston. This man is 6'4", 212, and he's got speed, a projected 4.6 40. 37-inch vertical, too. At that weight, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Unheard of.
This guy's got everything, okay? He's a possession receiver. You're not going to see a lot of catch and run from him because you don't need to. This guy makes the plays that you need him to make. He's got a 77% contested catch rate. Ridiculous. Out of this world. And Washington, they weren't great last year. They were good, but Boston was the highlight of them by a mile. I think that him at the Browns would be perfect due to them not really having a selective wide receiver one. You got Judy. It's kind of washed. That's my opinion. But I think that Denzel Boston, absolutely phenomenal. He's got everything you need. He also could be a little involved in trick plays. He had 2 passes completed for 15 yards in his time at Washington, and one of them was a touchdown. So you could see some Philly magic there in Cleveland. But if I'm honest, I'm wearing the Bills jersey right now. I love the Bills with my heart. If he fell to 26, you gotta get him.
Scoop him.
You gotta get him. Keon's not worth it. Joe Brady, if you're watching this, you need to figure something out over there, bud. But Denzel Boston, man, I could also see him going to the Eagles. I could see him, because the Eagles are looking to trade A.J. Brown, I believe. A lot of things going on there, and I think Denzel Boston, man, he's a top 4 receiver in this draft, in my opinion.
I absolutely love that take, Nick. Thank you so much. Well, guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back after we take this commercial break. Old faces, new faces, a mix of both, right here on WTOP-10. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the 1 hour Stick to Sports mock draft special. And we're just going to jump right back into it. We got some familiar faces back, and we got a new face. Well, Mr. Wine, welcome back. Good to see
man.
you. Thanks. Don't touch me. We have our 4th Ohio State defensive player taken in the first round, and it's our 2nd defensive tackle. So take it away, Logan.
Yeah, you're blessing me with these Ohio State guys.
Yeah,
AJ, thank you. And the 25th pick, Chicago Bears select Hayden McDonald, D lineman out of Ohio State. He boasts a big, powerful presence on the line. And honestly, every NFL defense needs a guy like him in the middle. Not always going to let up the stat sheet. Box score watchers beware, but his impact shows up when you need him. He comes in at around 6'3", 320 pounds. Has a very strong build. He's tough to move. He's all about strength and leverage. He does a great job holding his ground, taking on double teams, clogging up running lanes. If you watch my report on Bain, he's a very similar guy McDonald is. Very easy game to translate to the NFL level. As like Bain, he's also very disciplined. He knows his role within that D-line. He knows what to do. Spent 3 years at Ohio State, such as Tate did. So you're getting a very experienced guy when drafting him as a GM. He plays a good pad level, uses his hands well. He's very good at shedding those blocks. Again, like Steely Dan says, he does the dirty work. And of course, still time to grow as a pass rusher. Doesn't come without flaws, but if he wants to be a true 3-down player at the next level, he would need to add more of those pass rush moves to his arsenal. So all in all, I see him fitting to the Bears or the Patriots. Similar game to DJ Reader. So overall, very good player at the next level, hopefully.
Great analysis as always, Logan. Another day, another edge rusher taken off the board. The divine Dylan Gilmore, different adjective this time, joins us once again. Talk some ball. Floor is yours, Dylan.
All right, so we're talking Cassius Hollow here to the Buffalo Bills. This is probably one of the easiest guys to read. You can see pass rushing ability off the charts, one of the best pass rushers in the game. I mean, 10-plus sacks in the SEC. You can't, that's not, you can't, that's box score watchers, but 10-plus sacks in the SEC. But this guy does have some very clear issues. His reach is it so bad he's in the 1st percentile? No, he's in the 0th percentile for reach. So, the very obvious issue there with reach, obviously as an edge rusher, you got to be able to have that punch. You got to be able to get there. Another issue is he's basically unplayable on 1st down and in any sort of situation where they could run, very bad in the run.
Oh.
Like, very bad in the run. He's almost strictly a pass rusher. You might not find any clips of him stopping the run here. But pure pass rusher, 3rd down specialist. I don't really like it as a 1st round prospect, but the Bills are going to go for it because he's got, 10-plus sacks in the SEC. That's all it is. But really short arms and not able to play the run.
We'll see if that's a reach or if that's a nice settled pick. But our 2nd Hoosier gone, and one that was vital to the 16-0 undefeated season, Cameron is on to talk to us about Omar Cooper. All yours, Cameron.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Omar Cooper, part of that championship-winning Indiana team, a championship-caliber player. One of his best qualities is his ability to gain a lot of yards after the catch. We're talking about someone who doesn't have a crazy speed, a 4.42 40-yard dash. But this is someone who has a lot of lower leg strengths. He's very good at breaking tackles from players who are in the secondary, getting up and down the field vertically. We're talking about someone who primarily played in the slot at Indiana, but also has comfortability playing on the outside. He can take go routes long. He can come over the middle for slants and take those for long games. We're projecting him to go to the 49ers, and one of the most important qualities of someone in the Kyle Shanahan scheme is the ability to line up at multiple spots in the offense. They play Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Kyle Juszczyk, and George Kittle everywhere, and if they land Cooper like we're projecting them to, that's someone else who Shanahan can use in that versatile way. Someone who's also very sure-handed, only 5 drops over 3 years. Great body control, most famous for that amazing end-of-the-game catch against Penn State that won them that. Some questions about speed. He's probably not an number one receiver due to lack of speed, lack of size, but a very reliable volume guy that can be a great fit as a 2-man or 3-man in an offense.
Great analysis, Cameron. A common theme for offensive tackles is getting taken in the later picks of the first round, and we're keeping that theme up. Sammy, why do you think that Caleb Lomu is off the board here?
Well, I'll give you one answer to that question. Left tackles are the most important position in football. Argue with the wall. I only say that because of being a former offensive tackle, I know how important it is to protect the blind side, and that is exactly what Lomu does here. He is a 2-year starter at Utah. He was next to Fano, and that's one of the best tackle duos in the last couple of years. The thing about Lomu is he's very fast, which is good for an offensive lineman, but he's also not that strong. He is very fast, and he's big enough to take up 2 defenders, but he's not strong enough to stop a bull rush. He can get left out on islands, and when that happens, it breaks down. He also has a necessity to set his feet in a certain spot, which it makes sense. But it also, what's the word I'm looking for? It defeats the purpose almost, because he almost beats himself. His feet won't be set right because he wants to set in that exact formation, and he just gets off slow and doesn't have enough power. Another thing about his power, he doesn't have enough punch. Utah didn't really use a lot of bull rushing. We're just gonna take the edge rusher and move him. A lot of misdirection and stuff. So we don't really have a lot of down, pass blocking pass blocking on him. He's just more of a runner and smoke and mirrors type of deal.
Yeah, great analysis, Sammy. It will be very interesting to see if offensive linemen get scooped up at the end of this first round and they end up dropping. We don't know. That's just our thoughts. That concludes this segment of the show. Don't go anywhere. We got a couple more picks to break down here, only on WTOP-10. And welcome back to the Stick to Sports mock draft special for our last segment. Joining us now is the courageous Cameron Carvalho back with us. Cam, what can you tell us about this standout corner from Clemson?
Yeah, so it's Avion Terrell. He's the brother of Falcons standout cornerback A.J. Terrell. We're talking about a guy who's an absolute dog. This is someone who excels primarily in the press man coverage team. We see him deflecting that slant route there. This is someone who gets right up in your grill, has the athleticism to be able to run with anyone he's guarding man-to-man. He's also very good at forcing fumbles. 8 forced fumbles last year, which is very good for a defensive back, very valuable in an NFL scheme like the Chiefs that value turnovers, and we know that the Steve Spagnuolo scheme, very aggressive. It's very good for a press man coverage guy like this. Concerns arise with his size. He's a little small, only 190 pounds, less than 6 feet, tall. So if he's the #1 corner guarding a big physical receiver, he may struggle to not get bullied by that. But other than that, you're getting someone who is a dog. He's a hard hitter. He's an athletic guy, and he can also read zone routes well. So a very quality player coming in for Kansas City.
Yeah, you know Spagnuolo is going to send him off the edge almost every third down. Great analysis, Cameron. Amazing stuff. Coming back to the fold is Jason Rude. Jason, what can you tell us about the other corner, Colton Hood?
Well, Colton Hood, of course, coming out of the University of Tennessee, of course, old Rocky Top, 6 foot, 193. This guy is a very good corner, especially when he is able to make some physical play style plays, just like this one here against Syracuse, and get a fumble. And like, he has amazing press coverage, he has strong ball skills, and he is able to disrupt the line. If I had to do a comp, it would probably be Travarius Ward, because it's a physical corner that thrives in the press coverage, and he's constantly making several plays. And for this one, for pick number 30, we'll be going to the Miami Dolphins. Again, key losses for the Dolphins defense from Brantley Chubb and Minkah Fitzpatrick. This would be a very, very good pick for Miami to be able to rejuvenate what they lost in the offseason on the defensive side.
No, completely agree with you there, Jason.
We need cornerbacks.
I was going to say,
exactly.
You got a troubled Dolphins fan sitting here.
We had no cornerbacks
listening.
last year. Our defense was so bad. So if we can get someone like Hood, that would be great.
Would Hood make you happy with that selection?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hood or anyone.
Anyone.
So literally just
Anyone.
anyone that's good and first round quality is better than what we have right
Brought it out. I like it. On the opposite side, moving on, of Ruben Bain Jr. at Miami is Akeem Mesidor, the other talented Miami edge rusher. Sage, break down why you think this Hurricane is pro ready.
Akeem Mesidor is a really interesting prospect. The thing with him is he's undeniably very talented, but he's 25 years old. This guy played 6 seasons of college football, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think that shows that he's super polished. In his senior season, he posted 63 tackles, 12.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and he had a very good pressure rate. This is a guy who plays both inside and out, but he goes to the inside a little bit more, which has its strengths and weaknesses, but he is much faster than the guards and all the tackles that he is against. So he uses his speed and his strength to his advantage 100%. An issue with him sliding inside so much is running backs are able to take balls outside and get big plays. But like I said, this very good speed and size and strength.
He'll fit, and Vrabel's system, I think, will bring out. We have him fall into the Patriots. I think that will bring out the best in Mesidor. I mean, having Christian Barmore, like in the interior, having Milton Williams, and then Mesidor coming off the edge.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy I'd love to see in New England, especially with the loss of Calabon Chason. But I think he'll go earlier to a team. The team I put him at was the Chargers. I think he fits really well with the loss of Adolfo.
I mean, no matter where he goes, he is going to bring a polished, like
I said, he is ready for a win-now team, and a win-now team is going to be very happy with him.
Perfect. Thank you, Sage. Last but not least, we have the final prospect of the projected first round, Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, analyzed by the amazing Jason Rude. Jason, what you got on Falk?
Well, coming as the last pick of the first round, this, of course, going to the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, which honestly didn't take much of a turn, but adding somebody like Falk to the defensive line would be already great. He brings elite size, 6'6", 276 pounds. He is a high motor edge rusher. He is a strong run defender, and quite honestly, if I had to choose a comp, it would be Aiden Hutchinson.
Ooh.
I think that another good high motor edge rusher to bring to the defensive line for the Seattle Seahawks after coming out of a Super Bowl championship run is already a very good upside, especially with it being the very last pick of the first round. Of course, there's several teams that probably could add some depth to their defensive lines, possibly even still the Bills, because I still believe that the Bills' defense definitely needs more work, specifically in the secondary and being able to have defenders that can run routes very well and get key interceptions. But I think that this junior out of Auburn and out of his year in the Tigers would be a very good choice for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, no, the Seahawks will look to get stronger in any way after losing some weapons. But that, boys, that is going to do it for our 1 hour mock draft special. A huge huge thank you to everybody who helped prep for this moment, who stuck their necks out when they didn't need to, who came into the studio to do some extra video editing, clipping, anything. Thank you to our MVP. We had him on the show, Eric Palmieri, our graphics director, staying up until 3 in the morning to do graphics for this special. Cannot thank you enough. Always there for this show. And everybody who is out here in the studio, come in. Everybody. It takes an absolute army, cast and crew, directors, everyone to make something special like this happen. We will absolutely do this again next year for the final year. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, from my co-host heart, from my crew's heart, from my director's heart. Thank you so much to everybody who chipped in for this massive project. It has been a thrill to make, and it's been a blast to make with all of you. So thank you. Wave to the camera, wave to the bump can. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.